Y'all want to know what all the hell going on, bitch? I want to know what's going on too, bitch. Okay, the lady got on the internet and said she almost died. Listen, let me just go ahead and get this out the way, okay? Before we even get to the top of the show, I don't know what happened to the lady. Okay, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm talking about Tamar Braxton. I don't know what happened to the lady. We went out. What night that was? We went out. Saturday night. We went out Saturday night. We went to the Roof Chris. We ate. We had a good time. She was like, let's turn up for your birthday. We went down to the V12. Shouts out to Vinny and all the people at V12. That's the video y'all saw.
Tamar Braxton is once again at the center of chaos, and this time the controversy has dragged Funky Dineva straight into the fire, leaving fans asking if this was all a setup from the very beginning. What was supposed to be a simple birthday celebration quickly turned into suspicion when Tamar orchestrated a night out for Funky, only to behave like the event was really about her, walking into the party with the energy of someone promoting more than just friendship. When she later ended up hospitalized with a fractured nose and missing teeth, the internet immediately pointed fingers at Funky, since he had been with her the night before.
What's the drama? All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. And I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared and I was alone and I was in pain. And that's it. I don't have to lie. I got money. I have success. I don't have to lie about anything.
Instead of defending him and stopping the rumors, Tamar stayed silent while the gossip spread like wildfire, a silence many believe nearly destroyed his reputation. This sparked outrage because Tamar is known to constantly be on her phone and online, yet she allowed the speculation to grow unchecked. Observers saw her silence not just as negligence, but as calculated, feeding into what some described as a PR stunt to build attention for her new project.
But did that person tell you that their birthday party I paid for? So if I was a shitty friend, so why what roll out? It was a coincidence.
The fallout was immediate. Funky was painted as the villain, while Tamar's refusal to clear his name raised questions about her motives and loyalty. For those who follow both of their careers, the drama wasn't surprising. Tamar and Funky are notorious magnets for conflict, and when they clash, it rarely ends quietly. But the way the story spiraled from a birthday outing to accusations of betrayal and career sabotage made people believe this was only the beginning of something much darker. Would Tamar's silence cost Funky his credibility, or would the tables eventually turn? What began as whispers online exploded into a full-blown war when Tamar's alleged accident collided with Funky Dineva's growing frustration, and the two started dragging each other in public like never before. Tamar had revealed that she almost died, claiming broken teeth, a fractured nose, and days spent in the hospital without knowing how she got there. But because she was last seen partying with Funky, the internet turned its rage on him, calling him jealous of women and a danger to Tamar. Funky fired back with his own account, insisting, "I don't know what happened to the lady," explaining they ate at Ruth's Chris, then hit V12 for drinks before parting ways, making it clear he wasn't involved in whatever happened after.
Okay, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm talking about Tamar Braxton. I don't know what happened to the lady. We went out. What night that was? We went out. Saturday night. We went out Saturday night. We went to the Roof Chris. We ate. We had a good time. She was like, let's turn up for your birthday. We went down to the V12. Shouts out to Vinny and all the people at V12. That's the video y'all saw.
The narrative quickly shifted. Tamar's fans accused him of being a toxic friend, but once Tamar dropped her album trailer, suspicions flipped, and she was blasted for using her accident as a desperate PR stunt. Critics said if she had time to post from the hospital, she had time to clear Funky's name, yet she didn't, even after he privately asked her to.
One person said, that lady went to the internet to talk about what happened to her as well as update people, but couldn't clear the situation up? No, she's trash because she knew people were dragging him and she still said nothing even after he asked her to. That's nasty work, and she actually is a prime example of a narcissist.
Social media labeled her nasty work and a prime example of a narcissist, pointing out that silence in the middle of a storm only fueled Funky's downfall. When Tamar finally spoke, saying she loved Funky and wanted to move forward, it looked like peace had returned, but only for a moment, because what came next would turn a misunderstanding into a scorched earth feud that neither seemed willing to back down from.
After that, Tamar finally came out and said something. She explained that she was really in the hospital, that she loved Funky, and wanted to move on from everything and heal.
Just when it seemed like the dust had settled, Tamar reignited the flames with fresh digs and threats that sent Funky Dineva into full retaliation mode. After publicly insisting she wanted peace,
Funky also seemed on board with that, and it looked like the two of them had their kumbaya moment and became friends again. But girl, it took Tamar less than 5 business.
Tamar turned around and hinted that her voice was the real PR stunt, dismissing Funky's side as a failed attempt to make himself look relevant, and even suggested she might sue him for defamation because she takes her reputation seriously.
She said that her voice was her PR stunt, and the stunt that Funky wanted to pull didn't land the way he thought it would.
Funky wasn't about to stay quiet. He unleashed a furious rant, declaring, "I woke up this afternoon and shots were fired, so I'm firing back. I am a rich white woman. I have no job. I have nothing to do all day, every day. I have nothing but time. Is you finished, or is you done since you the rabbit holding the gun? If you bad as you say you is, then shoot." He accused Tamar of being the kind of person who panics when someone finally meets her at her level, adding that he was equally as crazy, equally mentally and emotionally unstable as she was.
I told you yesterday you was gonna pay me for my pain. I told you yesterday you was gonna pay me for my pain. See, you the type of person, you ain't used to having nobody around you to meet you where you at, all right? I'm equally as crazy, I'm equally mentally and emotionally unstable as you are.
Making it clear he wasn't backing down. He demanded she pay him for the pain she caused, insisting she would regret dragging his name into her mess. Tamar, meanwhile, doubled down on her innocence, claiming she was truly in the hospital for 5 days, scared and in pain, and didn't have the clarity to defend anyone. She reminded everyone that she had paid for Funky's birthday party.
What's the drama? All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. And I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared and I was alone and I was in pain. And that's it. I don't have to lie. I got money. I have success. I don't have to lie about anything. What did that person tell you? That their birthday party I paid for?
By turning her generosity into a weapon, she only poured more gasoline on the fire. Funky quickly countered, insisting he never asked her to pay for anything, that he always covers his own expenses, and that she begged him to come out when all he wanted was to go home.
As soon as she said she paid for the party, he made a post saying, "The whole internet saw the fact that I didn't want to be there. I hate the club. I was trying to go home. You begged me to come. I'm not the rest of them folk you be with. I pay what I weigh. Every time that we go out, I always pull my card out and pay because I never want you or anyone else to think that I needed or wanted anything from you. You wanted to go to V12. You drank them people liquor, so you paid for it. Ain't that how it goes? Anyway, I got 1 implant, and the right side of my face was swollen for 4 days. Your whole mouth fell out and your nose caved in, yet here you are making appearances and videos? I love when the lies take care of themselves."
I believe Tamar set up the whole, "let me take you out for your birthday, let's hang out for your birthday" thing with Funky Dineva to go along with this whole whatever thing she's doing. I say that because you took him out for his birthday, or you went out with him for his birthday, and look at how you are in the video. Like, whose birthday is it? Like, you walked in the party like it was your birthday. Were you celebrating this EP, movie, whatever? Then something happens to you, and instead of you just clearing his name because he was with you and you know the people are talking because you stay on your phone 25/8 because you're Tamar Braxton and you care what people think about you, you literally let these vloggers drag him. This could have ruined his career.
Q be the bigger person. Q, what we gotta do? You know how Tamar is. Y'all know how she... Q, please don't. Q, what we gotta do? Q, we been talking to her. Q, we try... My words to everybody was, why are y'all talking to me? Why aren't y'all talking to her? It would take 2 seconds to put all this to bed. The only thing I was looking for was some level of acknowledgement from her that I had did nothing to her and that I had no parts of what she had going on. All right?
His cutting line, "Your whole mouth fell out and your nose caved in. Yet here you are making appearances in videos. I love when the lies take care of themselves," became the new rallying cry for those who believe Tamar's story was unraveling. And just when the insults couldn't get nastier, the drama took another shocking turn. The feud spiraled further when Tamar, trying to defend her image, began hinting that Funky might be battling drug issues, though she quickly added she wanted peace and blocked him online. She mocked herself in a strange attempt to disarm critics, saying, "I'm a Muppet, I'm a snaggletooth, I have teeth but I can't chew," while claiming she doesn't touch drugs of any kind. But the narrative shifted again when Tamar's own dentist stepped into the spotlight with a video confirming her injuries were very real.
Upon evaluation, I confirmed that she did in fact have several fractured teeth. She even had an avulsed tooth, which is a tooth that's come completely out of the socket. She also appeared to have a fractured septum. We were able to perform immediate oral surgery on her, and we were able to stabilize her for now as she continues to heal. However, she will require several appointments to get her fully to her original smile. As far as the cause, the medical team ruled out seizure, ruled out stroke, and the only thing left that it could possibly be is somnambulism, which is sleepwalking.
The dentist detailed fractured teeth, one completely knocked out of the socket, and a fractured septum that required immediate oral surgery, adding that seizures and strokes had been ruled out and that sleepwalking was the most likely cause. While this seemed to validate Tamar's claims, it didn't soften Funky's stance. He reminded everyone that spending money on someone doesn't make you a good friend, and that Tamar was using her generosity as leverage to paint herself as a victim. He said bluntly, "You wanted to go to V12. You drank them people liquor, so you paid for it. Ain't that how it goes?" He doubled down that he never wanted to be there, never needed her to cover his expenses, and always pulled his own card to avoid being seen as dependent. He even dropped a stinging comparison of their injuries, pointing out that his implant left his face swollen for 4 days while Tamar's whole mouth fell out and her nose caved in. Yet she was still making video appearances. The way Funky phrased it made people feel he was deliberately pushing the narrative that Tamar was exaggerating for sympathy. And just when it looked like Tamar might keep fighting, she abruptly stunned fans with a dramatic announcement that shifted everything once again. Out of nowhere, Tamar announced she was done with music altogether, telling fans, "Y'all won, there's no more album. I'm going to my farm, and you will never hear from me again. I am sorry for everything." The shocking cancellation left her team and supporters blindsided, with many believing it was another impulsive move to dodge accountability rather than a genuine decision. Observers couldn't help but point out a pattern. Tamar often starts drama, then retreats when the heat gets too intense, leaving unfinished battles behind. But if Tamar thought bowing out would silence the noise, she was wrong, because Tasha K quickly entered the conversation, firmly siding with Tamar and reviving her own history with Funky Dineva.
Because he's such a hater. He's such an envious person. He got so mad when Tamar got all the attention. This is the same way he treated me when I had to facilitate that wedding and I was the hired host. He walked around with his lip poked out and rolling his eyes every time Tasha K hits a room because he can't stand women's, especially black women.
Tasha accused him of being envious, hateful toward women, and incapable of handling it when black women command attention, recalling how he rolled his eyes and pouted when she hosted a wedding event that put her in the spotlight. She painted him as someone who wears his insecurities openly and lashes out at women because, in her words, no matter how hard he tries, he will never be won. For Tasha, Funky's behavior toward Tamar was just another example of his alleged long-standing bitterness toward black women.
This is how he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He can't play it off, and he hates the fact that he has to perform before black women, but he can never be one. And so he low-key hates on the side because, you know, no matter how hard he tries, it will never happen, okay?
But even with Tasha's support, public opinion wasn't on Tamar's side. Viewers felt she was the one who dragged Funky into unnecessary chaos, reignited old wounds with petty digs, and sabotaged her own credibility in the process. Many saw her as an agent of chaos, toxic, impulsive, and the textbook example of the boy who cried wolf. Whether her injuries were real or not no longer mattered. What mattered was how she handled the situation, and in the eyes of fans, it was messy, manipulative, and self-destructive. And as the dust settled, one question remained. Had Tamar finally burned through the last of her goodwill, or would she find yet another way to spin herself back into the spotlight? By the time the dust cleared, the narrative was less about Tamar's injuries and more about her reputation, and the verdict from many fans was brutal. Tamar Braxton had once again proven to be her own worst enemy. Even though her dentist confirmed the accident was real and sleepwalking might have caused her devastating injuries, critics argue that Tamar's refusal to clear Funky Dineva's name at the height of the scandal showed how self-centered she had become. Funky's relentless clapbacks only sharpened the contrast, making him appear like the one holding receipts while Tamar looked unstable and manipulative. Social media was flooded with comments calling her the definition of the boy who cried wolf, with some even suggesting she suffered from borderline personality disorder and thrived on chaos. Fans compared her to that one toxic family member you eventually have to cut off to protect your peace, saying her talent is undeniable but her spirit is nasty. Meanwhile, Funky played the long game, reminding everyone he could have said far worse about Tamar but was holding back, an ominous warning that he had more ammunition if pushed further. Tasha K's loyalty to Tamar didn't sway much public opinion either. Viewers dismissed her defense as biased, especially since she admitted she had her own grudges against Funky. In the end, the scandal left Tamar looking desperate and unstable, Funky looking messy but resilient, and the public exhausted by yet another Braxton meltdown. Tamar may insist she's walking away from the spotlight, but as history shows, chaos seems to follow her, and fans are left wondering not if, but when, she will ignite the next storm. And that's where the core of the saga lands, on a woman whose undeniable gift keeps getting buried under her own patterns of destruction. Tamar Braxton's talent has never been in question, but her inability to control the chaos around her has become the story, overshadowing her music, her projects, and even her personal recovery. Whether it was refusing to clear Funky Dineva's name when he needed it most, spinning the birthday party into a weapon, or threatening lawsuits only to retreat with an apology, Tamar kept proving that she thrives in drama more than stability. Funky, for all his messiness, came out of this round with the upper hand, seen as sharp-tongued but consistent, while Tamar looked impulsive and manipulative. Even Tasha K's fierce defense couldn't erase the fact that Tamar dragged this feud further than it ever needed to go. Fans are now split between exhaustion and pity, some begging her to take a genuine break from the spotlight, others convinced she'll return with more chaos because peace doesn't sell and Tamar knows how to keep people talking. At this point, whether her injuries were a tragic accident or not is almost irrelevant because the way she handled the fallout has permanently reshaped how people see her. She's become, in many eyes, the celebrity version of the boy who cried wolf. When Tamar speaks, the question is no longer what happened, but is she telling the truth this time? And as long as Funky keeps hinting at the secrets he could spill, the storm between them may only just be beginning. What makes this entire ordeal even more damaging is how it feeds into Tamar's long history of public fallouts and dramatic exits that never quite stick. Time and again, she promises peace, retreats with apologies, or swears she's leaving the industry forever, only to return with another whirlwind of conflict that drags her reputation down further. Viewers are starting to see a clear pattern. Tamar ignites controversy, plays the victim when the backlash hits, and then implodes just as quickly, leaving fans, friends, and business partners drained. Funky Dineva, on the other hand, may be messy, but he has mastered turning drama into leverage, reminding Tamar and everyone watching that he won't be the one to back down or fold under pressure. His sharp words, like mocking her for losing her teeth and nose while still making public appearances, hit hard because they exposed contradictions in her narrative that people were already whispering about. Tasha K's defense framed Funky as a bitter man envious of black women, but the audience wasn't buying it, especially when Tamar's own behavior looked more damaging than anything Funky said. And now, the bigger question lingers. Can Tamar ever rebuild trust with the public, or has her constant cycle of chaos burned too many bridges? Some fans hope she takes a long, quiet break to heal, while others predict she'll resurface with another storm because controversy has become her brand. Either way, the scandal has cemented one thing: Tamar Braxton may be gifted, but until she learns to stop fueling the drama herself, her legacy will always be overshadowed by the mess she creates. At this stage, Tamar's image is hanging by a thread, and what once drew fans in, her raw honesty and bold personality, has now become the very thing driving them away. She's been labeled everything from an agent of chaos to a textbook narcissist, with many saying her behavior is toxic enough that people would rather cut ties than keep giving her chances. Funky Dineva may have been dragged into the fire unfairly, but he walked out with his credibility intact by playing a fence, matching Tamar's energy, and reminding her that not everyone will stay quiet when attacked. His statement, I always pull my card out and pay because I never want you or anyone else to think I needed or wanted anything from you. Underlined his point that Tamar's generosity wasn't friendship but performance, meant to be cashed in later when convenient.